Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
We're taking a look at some of the footage sent in, capturing the power of the storm that ripped through the region. From lightning strikes to pouring rain and loud thunder, this storm left a mark in the Rogue Valley. The storms have brought fallen trees, down power lines, and over 5,000 people across the region are currently without power. Thank you for joining us for NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Carlos Murrieta. Fire crews have been up all night fighting fires that were caused from yesterday's storms, as the Oregon Department of Forestry have responded to more than 40 fires across the region. The largest fire ODF is responding to this morning is the Hepsi Mountain Fire located off Highway 140. The fire is burning at an estimated 50 acres and so far has prompted one evacuation warning. That evacuation warning is JAC 326. Multiple resources have been ordered to this fire from both ground and air support. But falling trees have been creating a huge safety concern when it comes to fighting this fire. And another fire that crews are responding to is the Pompadour Fire, which is burning over Ashland, estimated at 30 acres. But the good news is fire crews have the fire 70% lined and 10% mopped up. And right now, you're about to take a look at one of those time-lapse videos from one of our weather cams. And you can see right now that fire and smoke being produced. And right now we're going to take one more look at live footage out of Ashland by the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. The fire is looking a lot better than where it was last night, as fire crews have gotten a really good handle on the situation. And right now we're going to look at live footage of where power outages are across the region. Right now, more than 5,000 residents are still without power this morning, but at 5 a.m. we were at 7,000 without power, 5:30 a.m. we were at 6,000, and now at the top of the hour we're at 5,000. So progress is being made as we're progressing this morning, and most power should be back up before 7 a.m. And we'll continue to track those outages throughout the morning. But right now, let's take a look at some more footage around the region sent in from our viewers. NewsWatch 12 also got the opportunity to speak with ODF's Natalie Weber about these storms and the dangers that these lightning strikes can pose.
Anytime we have thunderstorms, we have that risk for fires starting, especially when vegetation is as dry as it is. When you have rain with the incoming storms, that can be helpful, but oftentimes those fires, if it's a strike tree, it can smolder for days to weeks later.
Reconnaissance flights were in the air spotting for new fires. Crews across southwest and northern Oregon are being called in, with firefighters working through the night and still continuing those fire efforts this morning. And now we're going to go check in with Storm Tracker 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress to check in on our fire conditions and how things are shaping up so far as we're entering today.
Yeah, today we are continuing to track more thunderstorm chances as we're into the afternoon today. But here's a look at some more of those photos sent in from yesterday. Lots of lightning with these storms that moved their way through. This is out in Central Point, Eagle Point as well. Some great photos sent in from you guys. If you do have any photos or any storm reports, make sure you are sending them our way at weather@kdrv.com. But what can we expect ahead for us today? More isolated to spotty thunderstorms. Highs are going to be staying pretty hot for us today. So that does mean new fire starts are possible, and we're also watching out for holdover fires from yesterday's storms. Now today's storm potentials are going to be mainly into this area here in green for us, a little bit more numerous into northern Klamath and Lake counties, and because of that, that is where we do have a red flag warning issued. Now with any of these storms, lightning is possible, gusty outflow winds, and even some heavy downpours and small hail, but lightning is the main threat here, where we'll be tracking for thunders or through new fire starts for us today. Now as we're working into the next couple of days, we do have more thunderstorms into the forecast, so make sure you're staying aware, downloading our app, checking in with your evacuation zones as well. Coming up in our next forecast, we'll break down more what we can expect around the rest of the region.
The Butler Fire in the Six Rivers National Forest is now burning at 507 acres, and evacuations are in place for 4 zones. An evacuation order is in place for Zone SIS 1703 And evacuation warnings are in place for SIS 1704, 1707, and 1803A. Fire crews say reaching the fire zone has been challenging due to tough terrain. Campgrounds within the evacuation areas remain open for now, but officials are urging campers to stay alert and be ready to leave if conditions change. And the marble complex in the Klamath National Forest is burning at 375 acres. Evacuations remain in place for both the Jacket and Summit fires. Incident Command says the Jacket fire is now in the mop-up phase, but the Summit fires continues to grow and be a challenge for firefighters.
We've gotten in and been able to get lined around the fire in hose lays and in a mop-up phase. Pretty much wrapping that up here in the next day or two, hopefully, and starting to look at the suppression repair on that fire and getting people back up out of there. The fire right now, there's a lot of snags to the south of the fire on the right flank here, and pretty unsafe for firefighters to get in there. So we're trying to mitigate snags and finding how we're going to get around this flank right here.
The forest closure order still remains in effect for the Summit fire, and more details on the impacted areas and all these fires can be found on our website, kdrv.com.
Now, your first forecast with meteorologist Sarah Kress.
And along the coast and areas inland are looking a little bit different for us this morning. But one thing we are waking up are with temperatures a little bit more mild for us. Along the coast, like I mentioned, we are seeing some impacts of visibility as well due to those marine layer clouds. But inland today, we're starting off with clear skies, and highs are going to be warming up pretty quickly for us today. Not quite as hot as yesterday, but those high temperatures will make it up into the upper 90s for us. And then as we're working our way into tonight, we're also tracking those thunderstorm chances as well. Now, for today highs, we have 91 to Klamath Falls. Wairika, you'll be at 94. Medford and Grants Pass at 97. That marine layer is going to be a little bit more stubborn for us today, so the coast will be on the cooler side, likely staying into the 50s for us. Now, as we're into the next couple of days, we're going to continue to track out those thunderstorm chances even into our Wednesday, but we'll finally be clear of that as we're working towards the end of the week with a slight cooling trend on the way, but some big changes in for the weekend. So I'll go ahead and time out those thunderstorms later today and take a closer look at your extended forecast coming up soon.
And the Oregon legislative session has ended, and there are a slew of new bills that have been passed to address Oregon's housing crisis. NewsWatch 12's Brinkley Hill is breaking it down for you.
Housing was a focal point during the 2025 legislative session, and a slew of House bills were passed, meaning that you're going to start to see more housing, condos, and other housing opportunities pop up around us.
I'm proud of that work. I'm glad we were able to really pass some legislation that I think will spur housing innovation and help us finally start to address the housing deficit that we have across the state.
Representative Pam Marsh is the chair of the House Committee on Housing and Homelessness. Bills passed will remove red tape to make it easier for new homes to be built and cap rent hikes for those living in manufactured home parks.
So these are really important steps forward for us to try to just think about how we do things in a more expeditious way that maybe isn't the same way that we built housing in the past.
Many of these bills created more housing for families, but there's been an emphasis on building family homes in the past. Representative Marsh said now there's legislation to invest in seniors, so funding has been set aside to build ramps and handrails in seniors' homes who want to stay there, while in addition to investing $25 million into developing studios and one-bedroom apartments for people who need low-income housing as they age out of their homes.
We know we have a tsunami of seniors coming toward us. Some of those people will have their own capacity to take care of themselves, or they'll have families, but other people are going to need support from their communities.
From Medford, I'm Brinkley Hill.
House Bill 3644 will invest $205 million into homeless shelters statewide, keeping them as key access points to life, improving services. More details can be found on our website. And Medford Parks and Recreation is sharing how their volunteers are helping local pollinators and a historic cemetery. Volunteers remove several weeds, fix loose boards, clean headstones, and watered plants. Medford Parks is continuing to offer volunteer opportunities.